Welcome to the TubeBuddy Express podcast, brought to you by TubeBuddy, the #1 tool to make your YouTube life easy. Each week, we discuss how you can utilize TubeBuddy to enhance your YouTube experience and make your life as a creator easier. And now, here's your host, Dusty Porter.
Hello and welcome back to the TubeBuddy Express podcast. Dusty here, the host of the show. This show is dedicated to helping you improve your video content, your presence on YouTube, and so much more. In these openings and in these intros, I'm going to try to balance the fact that this show is listened to via audio, and it's also watched on YouTube in video version. And a lot of people over on the TubeBuddy YouTube channel says that I ramble on at the beginning. So that's what they're saying. So I do apologize for that. I'm trying to make sure it's applicable to both audio and video formats. So again, as I try to kind of get that balance, you guys kind of be easy on me. Don't be too harsh. But again, I would like to thank TubeBuddy, the browser plugin tool that makes this podcast happen each and every Friday. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. That way, every time we release a new episode, you will be notified. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into today's topic. This one's going to be interesting. I love doing this podcast because it allows me the freedom, the creativity to discuss and break down topics in the space that we're in, which is YouTube, that normally, a video just wouldn't be good for. And so today I'm going to talk about the evolution of the subscription or sub feed, and kind of what it means for you as a creator and what we can do to optimize it going forward and what these changes possibly could mean for us. So this episode, I have about, I have a list of episodes that I'm going to do for the show. I have about 4 or 6 topics at any given time in an Evernote notebook. But normally what happens is if YouTube releases a new feature or if there is something coming down the pipeline, some news breaks, then normally if it's big enough and I want to discuss it, I'll cover it on the podcast in hopes of helping you guys kind of get ahead of the curve when it comes to something coming to YouTube. Now, this whole episode spurred from the fact that there was news that YouTube sent out a tweet and posted on a forum board that they were getting complaints and comments, and they have been for a long time now, about sub feeds. Obviously, the algorithm, unless you obviously hit the bell button, the viewer, clicks the bell button and gets notifications, then they're not going to be getting your new videos. All of that, that's fine, right? That's been there. We know about all of that. But a new tweet, a new forum post where a YouTube staffer responds and says, yes, we are testing the feature. The complaint was that it seemed that the sub feeds were no longer in chronological order, which means that the newer videos would be up at the top, and then as you scroll down as a viewer in your sub feed, you would see what has been released throughout the day in the order that it was released. So you would see, 1 hour ago, 2 hours ago, and again, a lot of social media networks are dealing with this issue now, where they're changing the way their feeds work. More specifically, Instagram has went away recently and has been testing the waters and creating an algorithm and trying to present to people the post that they think people will most want to see at the top of the feed. And so what YouTube is saying is that now they are actually testing to a sub feed that is not in chronological order. So what does that mean for you? That means that it's going to be random as a viewer, not necessarily random, but in reality it will be, because YouTube will then get to determine which videos you see first or at the top of your sub feed. So not only will they, only be showing you more than likely the videos that you hit that bell icon for, which is why you want to encourage people to slap that bell icon when they subscribe to your channel. But now, even when they do that, your video may not show at the top of their feed because maybe they've been watching a lot of sports videos lately. Well, the channels that they're subscribed to that are sports-centric will be featured at the top of their sub feed. Now, again, this is just a test. I think if they get enough feedback from what I've seen from YouTube lately, they will probably retroactively go back and do things the way they've been doing them. I think people are just so afraid of YouTube having so much control of what videos get seen first. Like that's the fear that most people have. If they're in bed with certain creators, per se, use that as an analogy, then those videos could be at the top of the feed because YouTube is favoring that creator at the time. Okay. And again, it's at, the algorithm could change at any time, right? So YouTube, you could be coming up at the top or the middle of people's sub feeds, and then all of a sudden YouTube changes the way they do this and boom, you're at the bottom. Again, goes and harkens back to the fact of, I want you guys to not be solely reliant on another platform that isn't yours. That's why I'm always encouraging you guys to build your email list. Get a website that is yours and yours alone. That way you have control of your content. You have control over who sees it. Yes, the platform is nowhere near as large as YouTube. There's not as many eyeballs on it. Why do you think eBay has succeeded for so long? The sole fact that people know eBay and they're going to eBay and eBay ranks in search results and eBay has millions of visitors per month. That's why eBay has survived, because people are coming to the platform. The same thing works for YouTube. The same thing works for Facebook. Any big platform that grows up, people become reliant on it. And then when something changes or goes bad, boom, that's when you're in the tank. And that's what I want to encourage you guys against. So what does this mean for us as creators? I'm not going to speak bad on it just yet. I think that anytime a platform is making changes, there are reasons behind it. I'm not saying that I agree with it, because I think that there are better ways to construct to handle a sub feed. I don't even have really an issue like most people do about the way notifications work and things like that. I think YouTube did a decent job explaining it. But I think anytime a platform's trying to change and evolve and get better and do better, I think obviously YouTube wants to do things that are going to be positive for their bottom line. Okay, monetarily, but also that's positive for us, because if we do well as creators, YouTube will do well also. And so that's something that you've got to think about as well. They're not going to do something to blatantly go against, something that's going to be successful for them. So I want you to understand that is a fact. YouTube only, they're thinking about their bottom line, but also their bottom line is reliant on you succeeding. And so they're not going to do something to just go against you and to do it to completely ruin your channel or your life. I know a lot of people think this, but that's not true. And so as creators, what can we do? What we can do is we can continually create quality content that people want to watch. Again, I know that seems simplistic, but if you're worried about the way subfeeds work, if you're worried about the way algorithms are working or the way YouTube's changing certain things, if you just hit upload and you're creating quality content that's valuable, that's educational, that's entertaining, none of this is going to matter. People are going to seek you out. They're going to find you. I have looked at my analytics, and I've asked other people, because my analytics are a little skewed because of the way my channel is. I ask about 8 or 9 of my past guests on my other podcast, which is YouTube Creators Hub, where I interview creators. And I asked them, I said, guys, if you don't mind, will you send me a screenshot of your analytics? And I kind of want to get a rundown of kind of where you're getting the majority of your views from. And all of them, all 9 of them who responded back to me, the sub box, the subscription feed, was their 3rd, 4th, or 5th largest source of views for their channel. For me, it's like 7th or 8th, okay? And so for most people, it's suggested videos, it's YouTube search, it's Google search. It's people who think of how many times you've done this, where you've got on your mobile device and you've hit that little search icon there and you've typed in the creator's name, Casey Neistat, Peter McKinnon, right? People you want to see. You don't necessarily go to their channel or their sub box, you just search for them and boom, there's their newest video, there's their channel. Okay, so those are ways that people are getting to your content. Yes, you want people who are subscribed to you, especially when you get a larger subscription base. Again, it's just a number, but you want those people to watch and consume your content. I agree 100%. But on the flip side, look at your analytics, see where you're getting the most views, and then maybe it'll calm you down just a little bit. Hopefully YouTube, comes to their senses and realizes that this probably isn't the best option, removing chronological order on the sub feeds. But if they do go forward with it, understand that it's not the end of the world if you're willing to put in the work and create quality content. All right? So guys, stay positive. Keep hitting that upload button. Thanks for consuming this content. Thanks for listening to this podcast. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and download TubeBuddy, because it is that tool that will help you grow your YouTube channel the quickest, the most reliant, and it's so efficient. That's why I love TubeBuddy. All right, guys, talk to you in the next one.